clay again. I'm sure you're wondering why I'm making anything out of clay again, because I wasn't that good at it. I actually quite enjoyed making Takoyaki. Is that how you say it? His head. So, I have this kind of prince doll that I bought the body for Takoyaki, but it was way too huge. So today I'm trying to make a head for this naked torso. So I started off with a tin foil centre, and I'm just flattening out kind of a top layer skin to go on top. It makes your work lighter, kind of starts you off with a shape. I'm not sure what point it is other than that, but it takes a little while. So you just I kind of folded it around and then scrooched it up and then cut off the excess. And essentially, I'm trying to make a man face. A face of a man. Human male, human head face stuff. And you'll see how that went. So this was my first time trying to sculpt a head. So it wasn't perfect. And also, I didn't really go into it with a plan, so I'd recommend that you plan it. One of the good pieces of advice I found on the internet was to kind of plan it from all sides. I mean, I took this advice with the takoyaki and takoyaki. I'm pretty sure that that's just octopus balls that I love, that are delicious. I'm saying that wrong. Kind of smoothing it out and kind of plan from all angles, so sideways, frontways, upwards, downwards, and kind of work out what it should look like. In the meantime, there'll be lots of little clips of me smoothing and hopefully with satisfying results. So, here we are, actually getting into the face. So, I mean, I kind of started with the most obvious thing in one's face, and I think the easiest thing, maybe? Oh no, actually, I started kind of with where everything needs to go, and then I did a brow. So, the thing, when I watched someone else do a face, like, properly, they were doing Tom Cruise, I think, what they did is they did the sideways of its face. So kind of where the brow bone, and then it dips in, and then out at the nose, then in, out at the chin again. I'm just trying to do a thing, make my perfect boyfriend or something. You can see the end results and decide whether I've achieved that, but there is a brow bone. Adding on a little chinny chin. I wasn't thinking of a very pointy face. I would say actually I'd recommend, if you're trying it for the first time, to go for extreme features, kind of cartoony, because you're not going to achieve a real human. Sorry. I'm just adding some more brow bone. You know, he just needs to be a real masculine man. Neanderthal dude. Apparently Europeans have more Neanderthal blood than other places, so that's cool. Guess he's European. And we're just getting into where everything goes. What's this I see? The start of a nose. That rhymes with the last thing I said. Goes. Rose? Nose? No. So I just made a big old blobby nose. I think it's kind of the best part I did, but like at one point I tried to do nostrils and it did not work. I also tried to like give it, you know, the bumps of where the nostrils are, and no, this guy has a triangle, or I guess a pyramid for a nose, and that's fine. He's fine with it. So I used the back of my fingernail to kind of create a further divot for the eye to go in. Like, initially I tried to just full on dig out an eye, like you can see, but given the tool that I was using, that was always going to be kind of scratchy, dimply, not the best kind of smooth finish that's kind of necessary for an eye. So I kind of followed some examples and instead created an outward eye, so kind of trying to make a dome by adding the little eye sausages in my divot that I've created. So I've kind of made a socket, then added a weirdly shaped eye into it, and then over like the top and possibly the bottom. I actually only did the top, but depending on what you're doing, you can also do a bottom one, kind of a thin sausage. There you go, there's the thin sausage, to create an eyelid. I tried to do that way too high. Like, this will take quite a while. I ended up with a very kind of weird eye shape, because obviously, like, it's hard to get things symmetrical, even harder than when you're just drawing them, but also because I kept on, like, it's quite soft clay, so I kept on, like, spiking it and, like, putting lines in it with my my poor nails have now been cut short by various boating accidents over my Christmas holiday. That was very upper middle class of me to say. But literally it tore one of my nails off. Like, it was horrible. Well, not the entire nail, obviously, but like the end part. There's a sausage. There you go. There's an eyelid, and it takes quite a while after this to blend it in, make it some sort of human eye. So, with all of that smoothing done, we've got one good eye. That left eye with its shadows, that looks pretty good. I think my left eye is the better eye. I'm not sure, I'll have to look at the end result. So, this is, just to start this off, I'm trying to make lips with those tiny sausages. And I gave up so hard. They looked like what I call octopus lips. So it's kind of a term I've created. I'm not sure if other people call it that, from anime and manga, where they kind of have a kind of fatter character, supposed to be unattractive character with fat sausage lips, or a circle with a kind of circle in it, like a donut. I call it octopus lips because the characters kind of look like an octopus. No, like, you know, I'm not sure whether it makes sense. I'll insert it here. Thank you. But octopus lips, and I just gave up. So you can see in my thumbnail, and hopefully in the end result, that I've given up on lips, but I will try again. I will persevere. My next clay head, I will try this again, will be better. I'll plan it out, kind of use more matte webtoon simplistic art styles, make it better. So tell me if you want more, or if you would hate to see any more of this. So I think this, actually, watching now, is the best thing I did for this head. I added a strong jaw. I mean, I don't think it's that strong of a jaw, but it's a much stronger jaw. It's less womanly, more like my dad. And it kind of reminds me of the art style that went with Roald Dahl books. Like, he kind of looks like the BFG. A little bit at the end. I'm not sure if you see the resemblance, but kind of made it more of a character. It added than just like little bits together. So I rolled out this sheet to be an appropriate thickness for ears, and yes, I just cut that out with my nails as if it was a stencil, but if it works, it works. And so I took these this little half circle oblongs and carved like the kind of bit where your ear hole is and the bit that goes up and then an ear. I'm not sure, the ear shape I tried to recreate. And I think the ears are what makes him look like the BFG. But it's a lot of fun. I actually think I probably did that quite well. I think the ears are pretty good, even if they are probably way too thick for actual ears. Ears are quite thin things. Mine are THICC ears. And my baby's all cooked, so I'm using a lino cutter to kind of cut out the fine lines of the eye. I'm not 100% sure why I tried this. No one told me to, but I figured that the technique that I used for takayami. I've said this too many times wrong. To kind of really break in and make clear the lines, but the way that I used it on the bird head was kind of a bit too haphazard. Haphazard, that's the term. And it kind of would have looked weird on a head, because heads are quite smooth things, other than like subtle bony bumps from what's underneath. So now we get on to the important part, bringing the character to life with some colours. So I'm showing you my mixing process. So I kind of wanted a pinky, slightly yellow undertone skin. That was way too orange. So I think next, I brought in a bit more yellow. I guess that was a bit too pinky actually, I think. So bring in a bit of yellow. But then, that was just too much. So to bring in the big guns, the white, yes, my big tube of white, and then that's a skin colour. Like, I'm not that good at making skin colours, but this is one I can vaguely make. I've made that colour before, so I'm just kind of thick glopping that on. I've obviously watered it down, you can see that in the beginning, but it's just going on. It's helpful that it's a white surface, so you can tell where you haven't put it on quite clearly, and also it's fine if it has a bit of a white undertone with this skin colour, so it ended up a-okay. After I had gotten every single possible orientation of this head nice and wet, and then made sure to kind of put more where my fingers had been because they like just came off on my finger, I got onto some blushing. He's quite a blushy fellow. I used the kind of pinky mixture from before to blush up underneath his cheeks, his eyelid, his little nose. I had to kind of water that down a bit because I went a bit too extreme with that one. But oh, and the ear tips. That's actually like one of my most fun ones because it's just cute. And then we get onto layer 2. So I'm mixing kind of a bit of red and brown, a darker brown, for this character because I want kind of a ruddy brown. It ended up a bit too red for what I wanted, but it's fine, just a character trait. And I think you'll notice you don't see most of the repaint because I was on the phone and I was just out of shot. You'll see. Okay, I zoom in. If it would be fine if I just zoomed in less, but he just stays there for the entire thing. But I used one layer of kind of ruddy brown, no, like kind of just red, on the iris, and then a layer of dark brown, and that's what it ends up looking like. So I hope you enjoyed. Tell me if you want to see more. Tell me if you have any tips. Like if you liked. Like if you like me. Like me, oh please, like me. It's so awkward. Subscribe, I guess. Yeah, hope you had a good time. Thank you, come again, guys.